Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze, it's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
From Television City in Hollywood, the Jack Benny program with his special guest, Groucho Marx, presented by Lucky Strike.
Rochester? Oh, yes, boss. I just did some of your shirts now, brought in the mail.
Anything important?
Oh, I didn't know it was anything important. Say, Mr. Benny.
Yeah?
On your last trip to Europe, did you go as an ambassador?
No.
Have you ever been an ambassador?
Well, of course not.
Then I think I scorched one of your shirts a little.
Well, for heaven's sakes, watch it next time.
Yes. Say, I see you opened that box they sent over here from the wardrobe department.
Yeah, they sent me a lot of costumes over to try on, but don't bother hanging them up. I picked one out.
The boss sure is excited about that costume party Mr. Darrell Zanuck's giving. I'll never forget the last time he went to a masquerade party. He disguised himself as a waiter. He fooled all the people and kept all the tips. You want me to help you with your costume?
No, I've got it on. I'll be right out.
Okay.
Where's the mail?
Over here on the table.
What are you looking at?
I don't know. What are you supposed to be?
Little Boy Blue, of course.
If I were you, I wouldn't wear that costume.
Why not?
Your legs are too skinny.
They are not. Look at that muscle.
Where?
Right there.
That's your kneecap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. Oh, Rochester, I wish you'd talk to the postman and tell him about my mail always being late.
Late?
Yeah. Look at here. Here's the letter I got notifying me that my option was picked up.
Well, that's the one you've been waiting for.
But this is from Jell-O. Imagine it being that late.
Say, here's a costume you might like to wear. A cowboy outfit.
Okay.
Here's the hat.
Right.
Here's the shirt.
Uh-huh.
Now for the pants. Oh, here they are. Here's the pants.
Hey, they must belong to Gary Cooper. You think so?
Yup.
Hey, Rochester, look what it says here in the television sheet in the paper. It says, Bob Hope was sensational at the Academy Awards. He was never funnier, which only proves once again that Hope is the best master of ceremonies and the greatest comedian. Why don't they print news instead of opinions? See what's on the television here. It says, the plot of this week's General Electric Theater will deal with a lady lecturer and her high-pressure agent. The jackpot on Groucho Marx's You Bet Your Life program tonight will be $3,000. Robert Montgomery will... $3,000? You hear what I said, Rochester? Imagine giving $3,000 just for answering one question. Gosh, I'd like to go over there and get on Groucho Marx's program for tonight.
But boss, he'll recognize you. And besides, they don't use actors on that show.
Yeah. But look, Rochester, I can disguise myself so even Groucho won't recognize me.
Yeah, but what about the costume party?
I'd rather go on Groucho Marx's show. Anyway, Mr. Zanuck won't miss me at his party.
No, especially since you weren't invited.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, boss. And since it's my night off, I'll just turn your bed down now, and I think I'll leave early.
Okay. Gee, $3,000. Maybe I can win it. I ought to get some suit here that would fit, maybe. This might be it.
Say, boss, do you think you're doing the right thing?
Oh, sure. He'll never recognize me. I think I'll be it.
Uh-oh, another hole in the mattress.
What are you laughing at?
Boss, with you sleeping on a ceiling is like sleeping on a bank.
Get shaken up a little bit and make room for $3,000. I'm going to change my clothes. I'll see you later.
This makeup that we're wearing, we hope will look familiar. We couldn't feel much sillier. It's really quite bizarre. They said put on some glasses, a mustache and black eyebrows, and though you look like eyebrows, they'll still know who you are. And so with no concession and not the least discretion, we offer this impression, you see. The man whom we are playing is one who's always paying. He's one who's always saying, meet Groucho. Hey, that's me.
That's me.
That's me. That's me. Hooray for our friend Groucho. His ad-libs are the quickest, his repartee the slickest of anyone we know. When Groucho meets Jack Benny, will Benny bet a penny that he can answer any of the questions on the show? Will Groucho meet his master? Will Benny be the faster? It might end in disaster, who knows? We'll bet that Groucho hollers if Benny really collars the whole $3,000. My, how the tension grows. And now it's time to light up a better tasting Lucky, that cleaner, fresher Lucky, that smoother Lucky Strike.
You simply cannot measure that deep down smoking pleasure. You say that it's a treasure. It's Lucky's that you like.
LSMFT. LSMFT. It's light-up time all over, from Timbuktu to Dover. With Lucky's we're in clover, you see. And just to keep you posted, for better taste they're toasted. And that is why we boast it, and always say it's Lucky Strike for me.
Welcome. Now, tell me, Miss Johnson, how old are you?
19.
19. Are you engaged or married or anything?
No, sir.
No, Well, do you have a boyfriend?
No, sir.
Well, do you have a DeSoto?
No.
Well, go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and tell him Groucho sent you.
Well, I'm sorry, but you don't send me.
Well, tell me, sailor, how come you have no decorations or ribbons?
Well, sir, I just enlisted in the Navy, and I've never been on a battleship. I've never seen action.
You've got a lot to learn, sailor. When sailors see action, they're not on a battleship, they're on shore leave. Anyway, don't worry about it. In a few years, you'll probably have your whole chest covered with medals.
Oh, I don't think so, sir.
I don't think so either. I just threw that in case your girlfriend was watching. I didn't want to embarrass you.
Well, you needn't have bothered. I don't have a girlfriend.
You haven't got a girlfriend?
No,
Well,
sir.
take off that uniform. You can get in trouble impersonating a sailor. When the think of it, if you take off that uniform here, we'll all be in trouble. So you don't have a girlfriend?
No, sir. As
Well,
a matter of fact, I haven't even kissed a girl.
Well, with Miss Johnson's permission, we're going to remedy that. Would you like to kiss Miss Johnson here?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Well, go ahead, Sailor. There's a first time for everything. Go on, kiss her. You know, this is one of the most interesting books I've ever read. Pardon me just a minute. I hate to interrupt this, but have you read this book?
No, sir.
Well, hold it. I'll be right back. Now that we've all seen action, let's have a little action on the show. Well, the category you selected is geography, and now you know the rules. How much you want to bet on your first question?
$30.
$30. Okay, here we go for $30. New York is known as the Empire State. What is Texas known as?
The Lone Star State.
That's right. You now have $130. Now, what question will you try next?
How about 50?
$50? What was the last state admitted to the Union?
Arizona.
Right again. You now have $180. Now, what question will you try?
$60.
$60. Under what new name is the country of Persia now known?
Iran.
That gives you $240. Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What will you select?
We'll try the hardest one, the $100 one.
$100? Okay. What was the name of the governor of New York who purchased the island of Manhattan from the Indians for $24?
Oh, that was
Peter Stuyvesant.
I'm sorry, it was Peter Minuet, but you have $120, and it was nice meeting you. Thanks, and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The second couple is now leading with $120, and the secret word is telephone. If any of our contestants say the word telephone, they'll divide $100. For our next couple, we selected a doctor and a musician. Will you come in, please? Welcome, welcome from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. What's your specialty, doctor?
I'm the musician.
And you must be the doctor, because the other thing standing here is a microphone.
Yes, I'm the doctor. I'm a psychiatrist.
Say, your face looks familiar. Haven't we met before?
I don't think so, Groucho.
And what is your name, miss?
No, this is the lady.
Oh, I see. Either I'll have to get my glasses fixed, or you'll have to do your hair differently. I don't think he's kidding. Huh? What is your name?
Dr. Jeanette Iman. I'm a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist? Well, if I knew you were coming, I'd have built a couch. Now, getting on to you, what is your name, sir?
Forsythe. Ronald Forsythe.
Ronald, huh? It was Rodney during rehearsal. Certainly a cheap way of sucking around Coleman. Now, you're a musician, Mr. Forsythe?
Yes, sir. I'm with the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh.
I'm the first violinist there.
You could have been the first violinist, period. Looked like you just escaped from Phil Spitalny's group. Where were you born, Rod? You don't mind if I call you Rod, huh?
No.
Instead of Ronald.
I was born in Chitlin Switch, Mississippi.
Mississippi, eh? Well, what happened to your accent?
Oh, well, nothing. You all just didn't notice it. Show enough.
Well, okay, now I think we better get started and play You Bet Your Life. Now, the secret word is a very familiar object, and it's something found around the house.
Well, what happens if I guess the secret word?
Well, you get $100, which you two divide.
Divide!
Well, Well, of course. If she says the secret word, she'll divide it with you.
Oh, well, I wasn't arguing about that part of it.
Not only is your face familiar, but so is your philosophy. I'm sorry, Mr. Forsythe, Rod, but the rules say you have to divide it. Now, if you say the secret word, which is something found around the house, the duck will come down and pay you $100.
Something around the house?
Yes.
Where's the duck?
The duck? Well, where would you find it? He's up there, of course.
Oh.
Don't worry, he's right up there. Now, where do you live, Rod?
Well, right now, I'm living in Glendale.
Glendale.
Yes, I have a little home there with 6 rooms and windows and window shades and Venetian blinds and tables and chairs and spoons and saucers and dishes and rugs and knives and forks.
Hold it. Why are you telling me all this?
Well, you said that the secret word is something around the house.
I can't get over how familiar you look. Tell me, Doctor, have you ever seen him before?
No, but I've treated cases like him.
Probably use a double couch, don't you? Now, getting back to you, Rodney. Is the violin you play a Stradivarius?
Oh, no. You see, you have to be rich to be able to have a Stradivarius. See, I'm poor. All I have around my house are towels and rugs and ashtrays.
Look, enough of that already. Now, Rodney, you say you don't have a Stradivarius?
No, sir.
You know, I heard that a lot of imitation Strads have been made and sold.
I know, but they could never fool me because, you see, I could tell a phony.
I guessed it! I guessed the word! I guessed the word!
Hold it. There's been a mistake. The duck thought you said the secret word, but you didn't.
What?
Secret word is telephone, and you said telephony.
But I got an impediment in my speech. I always say that. I say telephony. I say yes, phony. When I shave, I use cologne. I say it all the time.
You use cologne when you shave?
Yeah.
Well, in the sentence you used, you said you wouldn't be fooled because you could telephony.
Well, you didn't let me finish the sentence. I said I was going to telephony a friend of mine who's a violin expert. That's what I was going to say. Honest.
What's his name, this friend? You've got a friend. Well, okay, they say the customer's all right, but I don't know how that applies to you. You sound like the type who's never been a customer.
I don't care. Just let me at this duck. There must be more where that came from.
Well, there was, but he just flew in from Las Vegas. Get back home there and let's start with the question.
Okay.
Hey, hold it. Oh, wait a minute. You're supposed to divide that money with her.
Well, as soon as I get some change, I'll give her $10.
He told me to divide it. He didn't say how.
You know, Groucho, I made a mistake before. I never have had a case like him.
All right, I'll give you half for people you run into on these programs.
All right, but stop whining and let's get on with the questions here. You selected the miscellaneous category. Now, which question do you want? Remember, the questions are from $10 to $100. $10 ones are easy, and they get more difficult as you progress. Now, what question do you want to start with?
Well, we'll try the $70 one.
See, that's a hard one.
All right, for $70. What ship now holds the transatlantic speed record?
The steamship United States.
Correct. You have $170. Now, what question will you try now?
The $80 one.
For $80.
That's even harder.
Well, decide between you. Is that what you want?
The $80 one.
For $80, what baseball player had the highest lifetime batting average?
Ty Cobb.
That's absolutely right.
God, I'm glad I didn't answer that. I would have said Crazy Legs Hirsch.
What do you say?
Nothing.
All right, you now have $250. How much money do you want to bet on this one?
20.
90. All right, for $90, what is the largest living mammal?
Well,
We're only betting $20.
The whale.
Right again.
For $90.
Now, wait a minute. You said 20.
I said nothing.
That's funny. I could have sworn he said Crazy Legs Hirsch.
You're just trying to confuse me, that's all. Believe me, you can't fool me. I can tell a phony.
You're wasting your neck, big boy. Only once to a contestant. All right, now you have $340. Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
$100.
Oh, that's the hardest.
All right, for $100? Now, here's your last question. What would be the interest on $100,000 held for 2.5 years at 4% interest if the interest is compounded semi-annually?
$10,408.08.
Well, that's absolutely correct. It's amazing. How'd you figure it out so fast?
Well, you see, I had the same transaction just a couple of days ago with the California bank.
You borrowed that much money from them?
No, they borrowed from me. They loaned it. I read it someplace. I don't know.
Oh, well, you wind up with $440, which beats our other couples, and that gives you a crack at the jackpot question. Which tonight is worth... The big question tonight is $3,000. Now, you have 15 seconds to decide... You have 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, there's a famous radio and television comedian who was born in Waukegan, Illinois.
Jack Benny! Jack Benny! Jack Benny! Jack Benny! I got it! Jack Benny! Jack Benny! I know it! Jack Benny!
Wait a minute. We know it's Jack Benny, Mr. Forsythe, but that's not the question.
What?
The question is this. Now listen. This is the question. For many years, this bum has been lying about his age. Now, for $3,000... $3,000, can you tell me how old he really is? You've only got 5 seconds more. $3,000, what is Jack Benny's real age?
39.
I'm sorry, but that's the wrong answer, which means the big question next week will be worth $3,500. Thanks and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth Deals.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Rodney. Hey, just a minute. I want to talk to you. I thought so. You're Jack Benny, huh?
Oh, Groucho, I only came on for a gag and try to win a couple of dollars, that's all.
Jack, I don't understand.
What?
Well, you know you're not 39. All you had to do was tell your correct age and you'd have won the jackpot. Why didn't you do it?
Groucho, let me tell you something. I may not be a spendthrift, but, brother, I know a bargain when I see one.
Bargain?
Yeah. Where else can you buy 22 years for only $3,000? Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now, once again, I'd like to bring out my guest, just for a bow, Groucho Marx. I won't be able to walk tomorrow, though. I don't. Now, listen, Groucho.
You just put a girl in front of me, don't you?
Groucho,
Yes.
you know, I do want to thank you very, very much for being on my show. And listen, I got to tell you something. You know, a couple of weeks ago, when they had the Emmy Awards, you know, for the television shows, I really was surprised and disappointed with your wonderful show that you didn't win an Emmy.
Well, what's our opinion against millions?
I know, but listen, you know, anybody that can give away as much money as you do and still tell jokes deserves something.
Jack, Jack, that's an unfortunate subject, but since you did bring it up, when do I get paid? How about money?
Well, Groucho, I wouldn't worry about that because you will get a check tomorrow morning.
Now, how about paying me in cash?
Why? What's wrong with my check?
Well, I can telephone you, too. Good night.
He's a pretty cute guy. You know what's so wonderful? He's older than I am. I think, anyway. One of the Marx brothers must be older. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, be sure next Sunday to watch Ann Southern and her wonderful show, and I'll be back again in 2 weeks, where we do a show leaving for New York. Thank you very, very much.
Well, Jello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by our full group today, which is exciting, except for Terry, of course. Anyway, today's is exciting because today has Groucho Marx as our guest. And it's always neat to see Groucho. I like Groucho's show. I like how Groucho relates. Groucho is virtually just the opposite of Jack. Jack is very much not into the ad-libbing, have the writers write a good script, and we present the script. Whereas Groucho's show was all about ad-libbing. It was bring up these contestants, and he'll joke around with the contestants and find out what they do for a living and joke about that and joke about just about anything, about the way they look, about everything. And it was amazing how well that show worked and for how long that worked. It was on radio for a long time, and then it was on television for quite a while as well. And a version of it is going to be done today for you guys, which is kind of cool, with Jack Benny as his guest. So we'll see how that goes. Zach, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, like, something that I've kind of learned not too long ago. And if anybody wants to, like, seek out more on this, like, I would encourage you to check out the Marx Brothers Council. But they had one of their guests. They talked about how the writer's room worked on You Bet Your Life. And it's sort of like scripted reality, which is something that AMC kind of dipped their toes into with stuff like Comic Book Men, where things are planned, but the dialogue isn't. There is feeding going on, but it's also you don't want to be disrespectful to the writers, but also yes, Groucho is throwing that stuff off the cuff in his own fashion. So it's like a combination of the two, but it's so interesting how the one we're watching today almost feels like it would have been just like, all right, give me an outline and then I will just do my shtick, because this sounds closer to Groucho dialogue than the radio show that they did back in the mid-40s. It sounds far more Groucho-esque, and I think it has to do with Groucho being in a different phase in his life as well.
Right. Well, and Jack in this one seems to have ad-libbed indirectly, probably, or accidentally, one line. And it was one name. He just changed his name to Ronald from Rodney. But man, that threw out Groucho, because Groucho had a lot of things planned about Rodney. So it's like, can I call you Rod? And then you're thinking about it, and even Groucho, you can tell it kind of looks and goes, oh, that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Rod to be, if Rod works for Rodney, but Rod doesn't really work for Ronald.
I love watching Groucho's mind activate.
Yes,
because you can see it on whether it's You Bet Your Life or like any other time he's talking with Dick Cavett on the couch with golf ball hat. You get this interesting little like spurring of the brain a little bit. It's really interesting to watch, and he does it so well in this episode. You wouldn't know that,
right.
That's
well,
the only
he immediately makes a joke about Ronald Coleman that I'm sure wasn't in the original anything, because his name wasn't Ronald in the original run through or whatever. And then at the very end, he says goodbye, Rodney, or something. He doesn't say Ronald, and it was not as a joke. It's just like he just forgot that his name was Ronald at that point. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I hope you had something. Yes.
No, I just wanted to add to like Zach's, like, you can tell when Groucho's mind activates because he gets this little glint in his eye and he just kind of looks at you. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody said his Manchurian Candidate word, like, but the difference is there's a bunch of activation codes. It's not just one.
Yes.
You don't have to have somebody playing solitaire in order to activate it.
Let's go over to our friend. What do you got, John, on this one that you thought of?
Well, I really enjoyed this episode. I'd seen the clip of Jack Benny and Groucho on You Bet Your Life on YouTube, and I wasn't sure whether they did like a bit on You Bet Your Life. I didn't realize it was part of a full episode. So this was the first time I saw the full episode, and it was really perfect because a couple of months ago, I sat down with my kids and I put on a Marx Brothers movie. I haven't watched that much Marx Brothers, compared to Zach, for example. So we watched
Fix it now, John.
Yeah.
So you're saying you've watched more Zach than you have of the Marx Brothers?
That's very sad, and you need to stop that immediately. Knock it off, Henderson.
Yeah. The kids were, especially my older kids who are 12 and 10, really were engaged and liked it. The younger kids watched it too with interest, but the older kids were just, enthralled by it.
Which one did you show them?
Animal Crackers.
Nice.
They loved, in particular, the sort of like asides to the camera, where he would like be talking and then say a sort of non sequitur, and the fact that he rolled his eyes at the end like that, they killed him, and they were doing that for like 2 weeks afterwards, just sort of like ad-libbing their own asides and then doing their eye rolls.
I love that.
That was fantastic.
So then I played for them an episode of You Bet Your Life, which they were really trying to get a handle on, like what's happening. I think they were more interested in it than amused by it, perhaps. So that was a couple, and it was the perfect amount of time between that and now to watch this episode where they sort of like, now they've got it established of who Groucho Marx is and stuff like that. So, the Sportsmen come out and they're all dressed like Groucho Marx, and they're like, oh, wait a second, who's the real Groucho Marx? They're like, oh, none of those people are Groucho Marx. And when he actually comes out and does the bit, they thought it was hilarious. They thought the kissing bit was a shock and a surprise and very funny. And at the end, we turned it off and they're like, that was a great episode. So we really enjoyed it as a family here.
Well, that's wonderful. That is so cool that your family can watch. That makes it worth doing this by itself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine. And I could definitely see how a whole family could enjoy this episode. I love the fact that it had the Sportsmen on it. So few of our episodes do have the Sportsmen. So whenever we have them, it's a joy. And this one was, and it's a special joy because it was fun to see them do their impressions of Groucho as they're singing their song. It was nice. Kathy, what do you have on this one?
Oh, I agree with you, Daryl, that this would make my top 10 Sportsmen commercials for how delightful to have them all be Grouchos. I mean, I thought that was terrific. And I thought Ronald Dangerfield or whatever Jack's name is on that toupee was pretty sexy. So that's so I thought the get up with the mustache and all that was a different Jack. So
I was thinking the same thing with that Jack. I was going, man, that is the most different look I've seen him have, where he truly looks semi hard to recognize. Almost anything else they do with him, you can easily see it's Jack.
It reminds me of a Raul Julia that didn't get it quite right, but it's still interesting to look at.
Yeah.
He obviously changed his name to Ronald because he was trying to be Ronald Coleman there.
It was Rodney in rehearsal.
Yeah. So I gotta admit, when I watched it, all the Groucho stuff is really terrific, but that opener they put on about the costumes and things like that, that I didn't think that was the best ever, but it's sure made up for by that by the really great You Bet Your Life skit. So
but even with that,
definitely builds.
Oh, was that John?
Oh, I said the episode definitely builds.
Oh, definitely. But what's so funny is it wasn't the best Rochester Jack bit, but I was so enjoying those two together, like I always do. And I was thinking to myself, they truly, I would be happy if they just stayed in the room the whole episode and just talked to each other. And that was it. That was the episode. That would work for me. Now, I think we're an audience, they need to do some other things. But for me, I just love those two actors and those two characters so much that I'm great with having them just talk to each other, especially because they were covering some new ground, some areas that I hadn't heard them talk about before. But like you say, it was fairly mundane ground. So, but still, it
Yeah,
was good for me.
I did think it was interesting that, he opens up a newspaper or whatever, and Jack doesn't often do any ripped from the headlines kind of things. So, there were a couple of jokes that if you weren't aware of what's going on, like the fact that Gary Cooper is a tall guy who played in cowboy movies, you wouldn't necessarily get. But for the most part, you can still enjoy it without, having to have been, there at the time. Whereas a lot of stuff that's ripped from the headlines, in other programs, you are just totally lost.
Yeah. Yep. The George Raft one has one that I was puzzled by, like that we're talking about later. And these are easier ones to pick up, but I think I wonder sometimes how many people will watch something of this nature just because like Groucho Marx is on it and just like kind of go through the motions and just assume it's funny versus like scratching their heads necessarily. Like, as it's not to say that like they're not like keeping the attention span is off. It's just like it's just flying by them, like, and they're just not picking up the difference.
Well, to try and take it back to 1955, that is a good point that the opening, it makes visual jokes to try and be different from the radio show, showing up in the blue boy costume, the long pants. That's how that wouldn't have worked as a radio joke that they were long. You could have described long pants, but of that and the cash register joke in the other episode, we're going to talk about interesting attempts to say, oh yeah, we're on television now. So,
well, and I think it's so interesting with these early episodes, especially, up until about 56, 57 and earlier, how one episode sitting next to another episode, you go, oh, this one seems so much more advanced than the other one, or because the one he talks about that's going to be on next week is the train station episode that we've looked at before, but that feels far more old school, almost like it's 52 or something, just because they're trying to do it all in one set and they've got so much going on and they can't do it in live TV as well. This felt a lot more polished than that one does to me.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're sort of playing off You Bet Your Life, and so it looks like the You Bet Your Life studio because it practically is exactly the same. I think that helps it also.
I think so too, and it's a format that you've seen if you've seen You Bet Your Life and stuff, so it makes it seem more solid or real or whatever. So I just think it's interesting that how sometimes episode to episode there's such a big change on his show.
And you mentioned these for the next episode. Does anybody know if it actually was in color?
Did they say it was in color? I didn't hear that part.
At the end of this episode, he says next week's episode is going to be in color for the first time.
Really?
And So I don't know. Maybe Kathy can do some research.
Is that too early to say it's the Beavers going to the fair?
Wait. I bet you I'm getting things confused. I think I know the answer to all this.
Okay.
So I think on the other episodes that George Raft we're going to talk about, then he mentions the next episode is going to be the train station episode. This episode, the next episode, is the fair episode with the Beavers, and that one was done in color. I know that. It was the only Jack Benny show done in color that I know of. And the color version, unfortunately, nobody has that we know of. Hopefully in one of the libraries somewhere, they've got it in color, but as far as I've heard, all that's left is black and white, but we'll take that. So
no, somehow MGM lost that in their fire as well. They just had random stuff that they just stole from other studios. I'm just going to assume that.
Everything that's a possible holy grail was lost in the fire.
Yes.
So,
London After Midnight, Jack Benny in color, all the things I want ruined. I have a question though, like on that difference, like because like the way that the You Bet Your Life setup is, it's like, as John said, it's like what 80% there more or less. Like you just don't have specific things for George Fenneman to be off to the side or the band leader. But like I will say that like I love these moments in Jack's show where he calls back radio. He doesn't do it this, and I'm not talking about like content. Like it has to do with the aesthetic. Like I'm a sucker for that New Tenant one where they are all doing it the way they would have done on radio in a facsimile form, but it has that same feel to it. So this one kind of feels like it's one of those rare gems where it works both audibly and visually to a certain extent. Like I don't need that visual. The reason I like that visual is because it's fun to listen or to watch the facial expressions of Groucho and Jack in tandem with what works as silence on air. So like that's kind of like a beautiful part of this episode. It's not every one of those is going to do, because I mean, Kathy, at what point, like from the get-go, right? They were just trying to discern themselves as much as possible. Or was that like from program one on television? They were just trying to push that visual aspect.
Well, I think you can see it in little things, and they always come off to us as kind of clunky when they have a visual special effect. You know, the fake alligator, or you know, as I said, like the cash register opening, or the long kiss. Which indeed, if they had done long kisses with Mary and other female guest stars on the radio, and you go for the audience reaction.
That's right.
Yeah, it's never really, they never do a smooching sound effect, so to speak. It's always like you could hear that it's an actual kiss. And I'm actually hard pressed to think of any other Benny program from television that works the same way that this one does on a purely audible level. Maybe Fred Allen's whole trying to take this job away from Jack, but
right. And he did get in trouble. His second television show, the one with Faye Emerson and Frank Sinatra, he did the skit he'd often done on stage with having the beautiful busty woman and her having a passionate long kiss with Frank Sinatra while Jack stands there. And for 1951, it upset a number of critics and conservative audience members who thought it was too visual.
Well, that's interesting.
Kisses.
That's very interesting, because like cut to the Marilyn Monroe episode not too long after that, and how central that is by comparison. Like that. Those things like that, those work in both formats. And I think what's amazing about this episode, but what Jack can do at his best on television, is that this is never like he's still honing in radio skills. He's not on a crutch. I love the specials, but the specials are on a weird visual crutch that he has to lean on, because that's what the momentum has become. The television show like gives us a better glimpse of how the two mediums can be. Like I could put this episode on my own podcast for a television review. I could put the whole audio up and it would still work the same, like more or less.
Yeah, well, I know that's true, because even though we were watching it as a family, my wife was sort of on the side drinking her coffee. She wasn't really watching. She couldn't see television. But there were points when she would just laugh out loud. And the biggest laugh was when Groucho set up the conundrum of Jack having to decide between.
For years, this bum has been lying about his age.
Money, and she was even before she really could tell where it was going from the beginning, before my kids caught on to what was happening, before they made it totally clear. So it was really drawn out and long and very funny the whole time.
Yeah, that piece, that was brilliant. And the way Groucho presented it was about as good as you can hit those lines, presenting it, and with his facial expressions, like "I've got you now, Jack," and see it, yeah. And the resignation on Jack of oh no, it's one question I can't answer. And I loved how later he gave us, the audience, the answer by saying it was 22 years later or whatever. Yeah.
It makes me wonder how much fun it might have been if Fred Allen got to do the King for a Day sketch on Jack's program, and to visualize that whole humiliation by the tail end of that sketch. Like this is one of those things that just makes me want that even more, even though we'll never get it. Yeah.
Well, whenever you watch the episode with Fred Allen, I mean, it's great that we have that episode. I'm so glad Fred was on a TV episode, but man, I think about all the different things I would rather have had them do with Fred Allen than what they did.
I wish they had done the vaudeville act, how that they worked together,
that would have been good.
That would have been fun. I like that episode. It's one of the first ones I ever saw, but
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying that you could have even done a lot more with Fred.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very Benny centric, and Fred he's not a prop. He's just, I don't think he's at his sharpest. I wish he was at his sharpest on Jack's.
Well, and for them, I'm sure they're writing it and going, okay, well, if this goes well, we'll have Fred on a couple more times in the next few years and things. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't for them. It wasn't thought of as a one-off. It was probably thought of as something we'll build on. Mm-hmm. And of course, Fred wasn't around much longer, so they couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite episodes of Jack's show of all time, because like it was an early introduction for me. I don't know if it was on the Johnny Carson CD that I got, but it was definitely on. I have this set, and so it was definitely on that set, and so it was about where I was like trying to figure Jack out, and I don't think I had ever seen a You Bet Your Life episode at that point. So it was an introduction to me to You Bet Your Life. I was aware of Groucho, but I wasn't aware of anything really outside of his Marx Brothers movies.
Sure. Yeah,
so,
and you're seeing him in a transition at a huge transition point, because there's a marker where he's still working with his brothers. About 47, technically 49, it ends with Love Happy, but we don't need to talk about Love Happy. I've still never seen it, but just watching enough clips, I'm just like, I don't want to spend money on this. But when he gets You Bet Your Life, he is like, one of the big changes is that the mustache is now an actual mustache. It's not being glued on him like it is in Copacabana, and it's not the grease paint. And another part of it is that it is of an extension of Groucho, but it is much more calm, and it doesn't feel rehearsed. And like, so you got to watch, you're kind of like, you're getting to see a whole different version of Groucho that is like not eons away from the films, but fairly far apart.
Well, this Groucho lasted a lot longer than the ones in the films, really, because you had the radio show and the TV show. I mean, probably more people I wouldn't say more people have seen this way, because the movies are very, very popular and have been for years and years and years. But
I think that the revival in the 70s really helped all of it become such a big keystone.
I think this episode is a really good intro into a lot of things, because like the whole duck falling from the ceiling and all of that, like that's something that, like, if you show that to someone like that has never seen that before, they'll be like, what is this?
You could find that in that Fred Allen episode, because the duck comes down, and I do love that line, like, what I'm talking about. Groucho told me, like, that is kind of a weird, like, if you don't know what that duck is, it's gonna come off as a strange thing.
Yeah, and so like that's kind of like where I was, I think, at that time, and so I think it's a good episode to introduce kind of to that culture, and it's one that, like, I don't like, I mean, you guys have seen my videos that I do of during the Benny convention, but it's one that I love to go to. It's the perfect encapsulation of like the Jack Benny persona, because there's the 39, there's the vanity, there's the cheapness, it's the perfect, like, really kind of short example of this is perfect.
It's the how-to manual.
It's also showing him what comes before what. Like, actually, he wants to protect his age before he even wants to protect his money. So that's like a perfect kind of example to show how Jack works. But I also, I really liked the contestant too that he was working with.
Great.
And I love go ahead, Kathy.
Her name is Dr. Jeanette Iman. And we know Jeanette Iman was the secretary for Jack. So
yeah, I brought that up to set you up, Kathy.
I find it interesting that Groucho's two major performances with Jack being one radio and one television, and I'm like where he's a primary guest star, because I heard that 44 broadcast first before anything Jack related outside of Mouse that Jack built, and that also has not the best gags, but it has enough of the persona to get you intrigued.
Yeah.
And this one's like Bogdanovich would call this a testament episode, so to say. Like, it would be, this is what you can show for people to understand how the persona works. Yeah.
If you want to hear one that doesn't go well at all, if you Zach, have you heard Groucho on his? It was a variety show sponsored by beer. Maybe it was Pabst.
Pabst.
You know,
Pabst.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jack is a guest on the Groucho show, and it's so tired and formulaic, and so to know that it can go really poorly, and then to see how well it could go with better writers and better ideas. So.
Yeah, Groucho sounds like he's suffering on that program, and I'll take anything I can get. Like, we don't have their stage work. We should have gotten more Marx Brothers films. I'll take what I can get, but yeah, it's rough. Orson Welles's comedy series works better by comparison, like, arguably. Like, at least I'm more interested in what Orson's trying to do with comedy. With Groucho, I'm just like, no, you should be funny, please. Yeah. But it's like your writers are not giving you anything to do. Consequently, it sounds like, as far off as they were, Jack's writers were able to get Groucho material pretty decently. Like, it's not too far off from any era that we're dealing with.
Yeah, no, it's great. I was going to mention the duck thing because Hope brought that up. I love when any writers, any actors do something that the audience has always kind of wondered about or thought about and been like, huh. Because people sitting at home seeing people getting the $100 or whatever out of that duck are like, I wonder if there's more money in that duck. And so, and of course, he reaches down its throat trying to get any more money that's in there. And I just thought, oh, that's kind of an audience piece of gratification. How much money does that duck have in it?
Well, I'm sure many of people tried to shoot it down and see what was inside.
Yes.
Hope said that, she hadn't seen You Bet Your Life, and they do set it up enough to say, if you say the secret word, then you win the $100. But I just love the whole bit of Jack trying so hard to win it and the looking up, expecting it to come down at any time. It was so fun.
Well, and that's the same thing. Whenever I watch Groucho's show, I've always said in my head, why wouldn't you try and sprinkle in, if you know it's a household thing, everything you can think of to put in the conversation so it triggers it, because people don't really do that. And Jack completely did what I've always thought somebody should do. So I had forks and spoons and knives and we were at the table, and then we had there's just the chairs around the table. Just trying to hit that word. I thought that was great. So the other thing I thought I'd point out is a lot of folks watching this probably have not seen the whole episode, because I do know that on YouTube there's the Groucho bit, You Bet Your Life bit, that almost plays off like it's a You Bet Your Life episode that's thrown out there individually that like, I don't know, it got hundreds of thousands of views, right? And then I think the actual episode, if you find it, it's not on YouTube very many places. And if you do find it, there's like 2,000 views of it or something. So it's not nearly as many people as have seen that part. So I think it's neat that you get to see the whole episode here and the setup going into to it and why Jack even goes. I love how Jack's reading about he's just reading some news stuff, isn't he? And then he comes across that and it says $3,000 to the winner, and Jack goes past it and reads the next one, which is perfect, and then doubles back to it and like, oh, that's at $3,000. So that's me. I'm up for that. So anyway, love this whole thing. Great episode. So anything else anyone have, or are we good to let them enjoy it? Well, enjoy Jack and Groucho for your only time that they were together, at least on Jack's show. and just a fun presentation for all you guys. Thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you all next time for more Jack Benny. Bye everybody. But we do have Zach Eastman here. Hey Zach.
Hi.
We have Kathy Foley-Seeley. Hey Kathy. Oh Kathy, question for you. Your book, any more of a certain date, or is it still just coming soon?
No, we're in active production right now. So hopefully soon I will see the copy, the typed up typeset script.
Oh, very nice.
I'll let you know.
Okay, that's exciting. And that's for people not knowing what book we're talking about. That would be her third volume, volume 3 in the what are they called? Broadcast.
Something like Jack Benny's Lost Broadcast.
There you go. Yeah.
Jack Benny's Magical Trip with Harry Conn.
See, I think you should just go off of memory with the title every time, so the title kind of changes with each book.
Yes, it could be magical mystery tours.
But the volume is accurate.
Here's one Jack probably wouldn't like. Harry Conn presents Jack Benny in small font. Or my favorite one, my husband paid for your coat.
Yeah. Great. Okay, we're also joined by John Henderson. Hey, John.
Hello.
Good to see you, John. And we also have Hope Sears with us. So Hope, good to have you. Excellent. Always great to have everybody. John, our new seasons are coming up. You have anything cool planned for the new season or any?
Yeah, for my podcast, This Day in Jack Benny, what I plan to do is an episode of Jack Benny that corresponds with the day.
Really?
This Day in Jack
Benny. That is so innovative.
But it actually is a change because I'm returning back to format. Throughout the summer, I've been playing bonus episodes that I had on my Patreon. And, since the conclusion of my Patreon, it's now, coming out slowly for, everybody to listen to.
Oh, very
so
cool.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Well, and in the summer on my podcast, I've been playing these video things over there. But of course, most people are hearing them as audio, but they've got to hear the group of us, which is kind of fun. So they got to get some of the summer with Jack Benny specials and things. This, I suppose I should mention it because you're not going to hear this for a little while. But we are now recording the 5th season of the Jack Benny Show. We finished all the way up to season 4 before we hit the summer. And then the summer we were doing specials. And now we're into doing season 5. This is one of the, I wouldn't say it's later episodes, but it's probably 4 or 5 episodes in. I just wanted to grab this one because I thought it'd be a good one for us to have as our kind of our starting one. And then a lot of them this season we've either done previously, and so we'll leave those alone, or they're like a filmed version of a live one we've done before, or a live one of when we've reviewed the filmed one before. So I haven't talked to the crew about whether we're going to present those again or whether I'm just going to attach up our intro to the whatever you call it, the doppelganger episode of the ones we'll be presenting. So we'll see.
Appearing on tonight's program are the Sportsmen Quartet, Gene Mahoney, Don Duran, and Irene Cadwell.